All right, friends. In this stream, I'm gonna tell you about an amp that nobody knows. That I don't know how many people use it, but I haven't seen a lot of talk about this in the worship community. And just to let you know a little bit about how I like to try amps, I like to use my computer as my amp sim or my amp simulator because I could do a lot of things. The sometimes in a pedal is limited, as well as I need flexibility from playing in recording, playing live and moving. Sometimes it's hard to get an amp and they need maintenance. And I used to have this one amp that I loved for a long time. And now I found a better version of that amp in a VST. So one of my favorite amps that I found on the internet, just trying out, I didn't know existed. And it's called the St. James, and it's made by Blackstar. So there it is. That's one amp that maybe you already knew, but I haven't heard anything about it to be used for worship or for recording. And, I tried it out and I was surprised of how good does it sound. So let me show you what it looks like. Let's go to my second camera, and I have my pedal board here. I'm in a little shed back of my house, and so I decided to put my pedal board so you can see the way I used it, kind of like a hybrid way to use it, where I have my pedal board and it goes into my sound card, Personas 26C. Then it goes into my from there it goes into the PA. I'm using my one of my laptops is a Asus Streak I think 16, and I really like this laptop. I just realized I gotta charge the laptop, and so let me make sure that it's connected to a nice power source. And just that's great about making live streams. Sometimes you don't realize that you didn't charge your laptop. So let me charge it real quick, and I'll come back in a second. All right, so now my laptop is charging. That's great. I didn't want to die in the middle of the stream. Oh, that's great. I need to check that. I'm sorry. But oh well, that's the cool thing about making live streams. Sometimes you make mistakes. Anyway, so the really cool thing about this amp sim, and let me show you too what it looks like. It's basically this. This is the Blackstar St. James, and you have two versions of this amp, which I think is incredible. I'll turn off this because it looks like it's could be making a lot of noise. Anyways, if you use an amp sim, let me know which one you like. In my board, I have now the ACS1, which is the first Mark 1. I really like that amp sim. I'm just playing with it. I got it not too long ago, and it sounds amazing. It's one of my favorite amp sims in the pedal from any other that I've tried before, from the Helix, from any other amp, but that's another story. Let's talk about the St. James. This amp is really, really cool, and I also have kind of compare a little bit with some of the neural amps and some of my favorites, which is from they're like tone captures from neural amp modeler, and this amp feels and sounds like an actual Blackstar, because I remember the feel and the tone of the amp that I used to have, which is an Artisan, and I also had the Club 40 special edition with the vintage 30s. But this VST, it just sounds so good, and I want to recommend it to you. I want to recommend you use this hybrid way where you can get a really good amp sound. You can also use a couple plugins that you might like using Element, which maybe in the future I'm going to do this dual amp where you can have the EL84 version, or you can have the other version, which is the St. James 6L6. I personally like the EL84 better. That's usually the tone I like. And you can have effects at the beginning. If you don't have a compressor, you can use a compressor. You can have a boost. You have a chorus and a phaser. I don't use this because I have my pedal board. Then it's your amp. You have the ability to put different cabs, and the ones I chose is the two small 1x12s from the St. James lineup. But if you can go in here, you can choose from many different cabinets, and here it is, one that I'm familiar with, which is the Artisan 2x12. I had the 1x12, so I know at least how they feel, this cabinets feel, and it's really cool that you have the ability here to choose dual amps, dual cabinets, and run it in stereo. Also, you have all the good microphones, my favorite combinations, the 160 with the 121, and just small fun factor of, if I had a real amp, I don't think I'll be carrying a 2x12. I'll be using the 1x12. And if I can run in stereo, I think that's really cool. I think that's great. Anyways, after that, you can run some post effects. If you don't have reverb, you can run a reverb in here, and that's really good. Delay. There's a problem with this VST, and what I wouldn't recommend it to play live. You don't have MIDI, so you won't be able to kind of map MIDI to these plugins, and that's a drawback, a big drawback. But for recording, this is actually, you can use it for practice. But that's the biggest downside of this VST or this amp sim, that you can't map MIDI or MIDI learn and use it with a pedal board, and that's it. Just your computer, the audio interface, MIDI pedal board, and you're done. So that sucks. But you also have an EQ at the end, and that is really cool. I wish it was a graphic EQ, but if you have Element and you download it, you can use your favorite graphic EQ, which could be the Fat Filter Q3, or one of my favorites, the SSL Q6. I think that's what's it called. Pro Q3, I think it's from Fat Filter. Well, SSL has something similar to it, and is also dynamic. Or one of my favorite plugins of all time, Hit Strip. You can use it with this amp or this amp sim using Element, which is a VST Hold. Anyways, so how does it sound? Right now, I think I have the gain. I have the gain 2, channel 2. I have the gain about maybe 3 o'clock. The volume a little bit past 3 o'clock. Let's say right around what is that? Let's say 4, maybe. No, I'm sorry. I got my numbers confused. So this is my my gain 2. This is my volume 1. The EQ is completely flat. I haven't changed anything because I'm getting most of my tone from the cabinet. And my master is has reverb. I don't have any reverb at all. And then my master is, I would say about 75%. So 25% in my gain, and my volume's around maybe 40%, maybe a little bit less. Yeah, around 40%. And it sounds like this. My good guitar, my good old GNL Doheny, made in Indonesia, and it sounds like this. Middle position. Let's open up the tone. It has a lot of chime. sounds really cool. That's in the middle position. Now, if I go on the bridge and I dig in, it gives you some good breakup. I mean, just right there, it's a really usable tone. Now, if I turn my volume down, does it clean up? It does. It sounds and it feels like a real amp. That's what surprised me about this amp synth, and I want to recommend it to you. You got to try it out. I don't know if they have a free trial, but they used to have they have a pedal version of this, not with the St. James, but they have a pedal version of this amp sim, and let me tell you that this sounds just as good. And it reminds me of my Artisan for whatever reason, just especially the way it feels when you play it. It's something that is hard to explain. And it doesn't take a lot of DSP. It doesn't take a lot of it doesn't tax your CPU as much, because you have one instance of the amp and you have dual cabinets. Now, what I could do is run it through Element, use one cabinet, meaning I can go in here and mute one of them, one side of the cabinet, and then use another instance of this plug-in with the EL84 version. And I think that is very powerful. Same, I have my pedal board here on the floor, and I'll give you some tones with some effects. What I use on my pedal board, let's move over here a little bit. What I have on my pedal board is I have a compressor, a bass compressor actually, which I like, very affordable pedal. So that is called the Pressure Point by Kaline. Then I have another clone of a Teamy Deluxe, which is the Teamy side with a boost, with a clean boost. Then I have a clone of a dual barrel. And at the end, I have this black one. It's a clone of the Duelist. So you heard it with compression and a little bit of reverb from my HS effects, and the ACS one is bypass. There's no sound coming out of there. I have basically 3 delays, Cosmos Echo, an Andratic delay, and an Elephant Man. And then I have a little bit of chorus. I play mostly rhythm. At church, I don't play leads, but I like to have a little bit of chorus sometimes in my clean. I have a plate delay if I need to be more atmospheric, and one of my favorite reverbs, which is the particle verb from line 6. It's amazing. Anyway, so let's go back into the clean. Let's open up our, let's give it a little bit less. Okay, so let's turn on the Teamy. See, it responds really good with pedals. That's another thing. You can have good amps and amp synth, but if they don't translate your effects, what's the point? And this responds really cool to that pedal. Okay, let's use the dual barrel, which is Sweet Tea, and the first channel, and the second channel I have the Morning Glory on the red channel. Turn on the sweet tea. Let's go with the Morning Glory. Back to clean. It sounds really good. I have nothing but say good things about this MSIM, this VST. You should check it out. It's called the St. James by Blackstar, and I know that amp, it sounds amazing. I haven't tried it out, but as I was using this VST just to try it out, it just reminded me of my Blackstar Artisan, which I really regret selling. That should have kept that. That amp just sound great, but it was very heavy. And you know, I was moving into the Helix. I think I sold it for my Helix floor, which I also sold the Helix floor. I only use HS effects because I have this hybrid now where I only need the effects from here, and you know, it's okay. You know, I can get that gear back. Anyways, let's try now the Duelist. I have I'm only using the bridge right now. Let's open it up just so you can hear it again. Full open on the bridge, the pickup. Oops. That's what it reminded me. Let's go in the second channel. It takes pedals really good. It's a really good amp. You have enough effects to practice. Downside, you can't MIDI map the effects, especially here where you have this pedals. I don't know why Blackstar did that. Otherwise, I would use a live, but since I can't do that, I wouldn't use a live by itself. But with my pedal board, it would sound really cool, and I can have dual cabinet. That's amazing in stereo. It would have been great also to be able to use both amps at the same time. That would be super cool. So if Blackstar wants to do that, I think that would be amazing. To be able to use the two amps, the EL84 version and the 6L6 in combination with its, you know, whether you can connect each amp to each cabinet to each amp. That's amazing. I don't know if you can use, I don't think you can use IRs in this, but this IRs or whatever they capture the cabinet sounds amazing. You need a little bit of EQ and post effects. You don't have reverb. There it is. You put a little bit of reverb and you're good to go. And then is your last EQ. Let's go back into the amp and let's put some delay. Sounds pretty good. Just the way it responds when you pick it. my daughter 8. Oh, yes. No overdrive whatsoever. All right, that that is actually pretty cool. I can just stay here and play and noodle and practice some of the songs. Um, I like this amp synth with my duelist the most. There's certain amps that I like the double barrel with. The ACS one, I have a set where I have the AC30 with the blue back, and I have the Fender side with green back. I'll do another video, but I still have to play with it, dial it in, and then I'll make a live stream of how I use the ACS one with the firmware 2.1 and the stock impulse responses from Tone City, I believe. Oh, they sound way better, and the gain, the chewiness of these amps are amazing. So if you want to try this amp that nobody knows about, I haven't seen anybody talking about to be used for worship, especially live. You don't have an amp, you don't have a money for HX stump, you have your audio interface, you have a laptop, and it doesn't tax your computer as much. Let me see how much is using in my computer. Let's see, test manager, let's go to performance, let's see how much CPU am I using. Look, I'm only using 3%. Anyways, it's a 14 core computer. But let's see what happens when I dig in. Sorry about that. That's pretty good. There's almost no memory. I mean, I have a lot of memory in this computer. 64, an i9, 1390. Yeah, this computer, it's pretty good. It should not give me any problems. And let me show you what my audio interface it's at. It's set at 128 samples, 48 hertz, and that is really good. I can run stereo. So if I have my pedal board, I can actually, from my pedal board, I can go stereo here, and you can have a really wide directly from my board in stereo, or I can just use here and then main out left and right. So you have that ability. I hope that this video gives you its interest to you as much as I was interested in it. And if you have a suggestion for another VST amp, I'm gonna come up with more amplifiers you can use for worship, and how easy it is to use them and get a really good tone, because it's all about the tone. They could be free or they could be expensive. If they don't sound good, same as amp synth pedals, if they don't sound good, what's the point? I love the idea that I can take my HX effects and my laptop and audio interface, and I can do very not complicated, but I can do an entire worship set with just multi effects without the amp synth, and get really good amp simulation for my computer. All right, friends. Let me know what Amson you would like me to review. What is your favorite Amson? Other than the Helix, other than the Quad Cortex, any of these amazing Amsims that maybe they can cost a little bit of money. I don't know how much is the Black Star. Don't remember. But it's very affordable. I think it was only like $50. There's other ones that are amazing, like the NAM modeler, and I'm gonna bring you some really good videos about those. All right, friends. God bless you. I will see you in another video. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you have questions, let me know. If you need help, let me know. I would love to give you a hand. I also am gonna start another kind of like teaching how we're doing our live mix, especially how I use this amp-synth to create the tone when we're gonna play live. That's another reason why I love to use VST amp sims, just because I find the tone that I need when I'm trying to put recordings, and most of the time the recording ends up just being used the amp sim. Because the tone was great, and with a couple pedals, some VST pedals, nobody heard the difference. They thought it was like, oh, you use what pedal you use? Oh yeah, you use this, and they couldn't tell the difference from the analog pedal from the entire mix already done with all VSTs. There's a way to do it, which there's a couple things that go into creating great tone, but if this would be more consistent, especially to play it live, and you can use your favorite overdrives and pedals, compression, to do that. I think this is a great solution without spending a lot of money, because everybody has a computer. Most musicians will have an audio interface. You might not need to be buying all this amp sims. I mean, you do if that's your thing. For me, is I like to have tools all the time, and sometimes I don't have the resources to be buying amp sims. And if I have new volunteers, they can try this out without having to spend much money, even with expensive guitars. I love this guitar. It wasn't that expensive. All right, friends, God bless you. Don't forget to hit that bell icon so YouTube lets you know every time we make new live videos. I think in the future, when I have more time, I will do the better production. And I am sorry for all the mistakes I made here. I want to do them live so you can feel and see my real reaction, especially when you forget to power your laptop. Make sure this plugged into the power outlet. Anyways, friends, God bless you. I'll see you in another live stream. Take care.